Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. I hope everybody's feeling incredible this morning. Get this party started. Let's go.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're in the right place at the right time because we're going to bring the millionaire out of you. Just hold on.
All right, let's go, y'all.
Thank you. Please announce yourself. All participants are muted. Entry and exit tones are off.
Yeah. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. I hope you're feeling incredible this morning. My name is Haziq Ali. I am a self-esteem development fanatic, starting with my own. I'm also a revenue acceleration expert. I've dedicated a lot of my life to figuring out how to get you from 5 figures in your business every year to 6 figures or even 7. You know, I'm not really talking to people who are already at 7 figures a year. And, a lot of times the mindset stuff is universal, et cetera, so forth. But my real area of expertise is getting those really small businesses. The person who is like, yo, an extra $2,000 a month that changed my life. The extra $5,000 a month, woo! I feel like I'm in heaven. Because I remember those moments. And whether it's mindset, skill set, or heart set, I just want to extend the life expectancy of the entrepreneur. Does that make sense, Damon? Good morning, King. Yeah, what he said. Y'all like this thing. Y'all share this thing. Yuli, what's up? Coach Flono checking in from the gym. Let's go. I'm about to try to give you something while you're working out, dog. Kenya's in the house. What's up, Dr. Marilyn? Good morning. Good morning, millionaire. Yeah, my man Digital Daryl is in the house. Let's go. Yeah, look at Damon. You see all them people Damon showing love to? Some of y'all need to get like him. Tammy. What's up, Miss Oda? Good morning, millionaire. Taisha Levon is in the house. Let's go. Taisha, we need to kick it. Like, we gotta chop it up later on today. All right, y'all. So today, some of y'all know, some of y'all don't, but today what we're gonna do, and the reason that you don't is if you're not in a text message system. So follow me on Instagram, Mr. Haziq Ali. Join our personal development text service. It's called Dear Millionaire. All you do is text message @millmine to the number 81010, and it gets you enrolled automatically. So make sure you do that as well. But check it out. You know how your grandparents always have all these little adages. They always got all these quotes and stuff for you. And sometimes you be sitting there thinking, and one of their quotes just pop into your head for no reason. I can't be the only one that happens to. But y'all ever heard this quote that's like, we got 2 ears, 2 eyes, and 1 mouth, so we should listen and observe twice as much as we talk? Y'all ever heard that? Think about it. You got 2 ears, you got 2 eyes, but you only got 1 mouth. Do the math. There's something to be said for the math problem that presents, right? Think about it. I got 2 eyes, I got 2 ears, but I only got 1 mouth. That's pretty interesting. So if you're supposed to listen twice as much as you talk, if you're supposed to observe twice as much as you talk, tell me what happens with most people in our society. It seems to me like in the self-absorption that we're suffering from in today's society, learning to listen is kind of like a superpower, because most of us do a whole lot of talking and very little listening. We all got a Twitter feed, we got Threads, we got Instagram, and a lot of us post and don't even listen to people's comments under the post. We don't even pay attention to that. Don't mess around and get a pretty decent following. You start ignoring people and all of that. But I'm trying to kick it with you here, because what I want you to understand is that if most of us do mostly talking, mostly output, but we never absorb anything, we never listen, we never read, we never take notes when we're listening to podcasts and stuff like that. It's all giving out info. It's all just expressing ourselves and our need to be validated and our need to feel a certain way, right? but we're never spending time absorbing the info. Come on, y'all. So if that's the world we living in, where whether you're talking about your personal life or your business environment, everybody's always explaining their own point of view, describing what's important to them. Can you imagine how cool it is to actually listen? I want you to think about that. Listening then can become a superpower, especially in a business environment where so much of your effort is about telling colleagues about yourself, explaining the vision to your coworkers and your teammate, right? Explaining our point of view, just like I said, describing what's important to us. So what I'm doing this morning is I'm gonna give you 4 different levels of listening, 4 different areas that maybe you want to observe how well you're listening, how well you're looking to absorb information, not just give it out. Because the bottom line behind every business is how can you solve your customers' problems? Is that fair? Can somebody type that in the comments? That's the first thing that I want you to type. And then please give me a share. That'll make a great caption if you share this on your timeline. Somebody give it to me. How can you solve your customers' problems? If you're an entrepreneur, that's the driving force behind your business. How can you solve your customers' problems? Can I get a witness? Somebody give it to me. Hey, Jeff, give me that. How can you solve your customers' problems? Let's go, Ray. How can you solve your customers' problems? Let's go, Shakima. How can you solve your customers' problems? I see what Shakima did there. Some of y'all don't know. She got that from my TED Talk. Any of y'all seen my TED Talk? I like that, Shakima. How can you solve your customers' problems? Come on, Tammy. Don't that solve a lot? How can you solve your customers' problems? How can you solve your customers' problems? This is a big deal. How can you solve your customers' problems? So I'm about to give you 4 different levels. Write these down in your notes. Let's get it. Here's the first one, y'all. Listen to your customers. Listen to your customers. Pretty self-explanatory, right? Your first priority should be listening to your customers so you can make them clients. You've heard me say it before. I'm going to say it again, I'm sure. A customer is just somebody you did a transaction with. A client is someone you look at as being under your protection. How can you understand what your client needs? How can you figure out how you can add value if you never listen to your client? Business is about relationships. And one thing about relationships go both ways. If you're somebody who's working out here as a small community-driven business and you know your customers directly, it's easy for you. Just ask them some questions and then shut up. You hear me? Let them talk about their lives and just listen. You hear me? Take notes, and then later you get to map out a plan for how you're going to help them out. Am I making sense? If you don't have direct access to your customers, though, you might have to work a little bit harder, but it's still going to be extremely rewarding for you. There's still lots of ways that you can listen, starting with social media. If you follow your customers on social media, not just let them follow you and praise you and tell you how clever your posts are and how good looking your family is and wow, how delicious was that meal you just ate? What if you follow some of them back so you can see firsthand how they're living their lives, so you can observe their struggles, so you can kind of take note of their problems, their needs, their desires, their values, their attitudes, their lifestyles. You can look at their struggles and their triumphs, right? Now you can determine a path to adding some value to their life. Am I making sense? Plus, if they happen to be following your channels, you now have permission to directly interact with them. Now you can listen firsthand. Now you can ask them some of those questions that the smaller businesses get the ability to do face-to-face or belly-to-belly. You can now ask that stuff in their inbox. Or you can move up the levels of communication. We know the lowest level of communication is an inbox or a text message, right? But then some of y'all know I teach the 6 levels of communication. You know, those simple messages, inbox and text messages, you can't see tonality, body language. You can't hear nothing in terms of excitement or boredom. We know that's the lowest level. We know the purpose of the lower levels is to get to a higher level, right? But the reason that you want to get to that higher level, I'll tell you real quick, the 6 levels of communication are 1, a simple text message. The second level after that is when you send them a video. The third level after that is a phone call. The fourth level after that is FaceTime or a Zoom, so at least we can see each other's faces. The fifth level is meeting up in person, and level 6 is meeting up in person and eating. The higher the level of communication, the easier you can move them to action, the better the rapport, on and on and on. There's just no, I can't overstate the importance of understanding why some of your communication falls flat because you aren't paying attention to the level of communication you're using. But another thing about those levels of communication is that the higher up you move, the easier you can listen. The more of a direct vein you'll be able to tap in figuring out their problems. So I hope I'm making sense. The first one is listen to your customers. Here's the second one. Listen to your team. Listen to your team. I know you're the leader. I get it. It's your vision. Everybody's kind of walking in march and in lockstep with you. I totally get it. Check it out. Listen to your team. They know a lot more than maybe you're giving them credit for. You hear me? They're the ones on the front lines. They're the ones that know what's going on with these clients that you value so highly. And random acts of listening ain't really going to give you the depth that you need to really get intimately aware and really serve your team. So approach them maybe in more of a structured way. Sometimes with the clients, you can be loosey-goosey with it. But with your team, maybe you give them a bunch of different ways to communicate. I'm talking about it can be suggestion boxes. I'm talking about it can be something virtual. It can be something in person. You can send them surveys to fill out. You can build some kind of ambassador program where now all of a sudden your leadership team can spend meaningful time with different groups, right? That you may affect and hear their concerns. You can send them out to buy lunch or to do volunteer events with different groups so you can hear their concerns. It never hurts to have a town hall, you know, depending on the size of your team. I was just not telling one of my mentees yesterday, with the kind of results that she's getting, it might be time for you to start having some kind of team meetings where you're gathering around and letting them not only see the work, but the results that are coming from the work. If you have one of these, though, just make sure it ain't you doing all the what? All the talking. All the talking. What we're talking about here today is the 4 levels of listening. So obviously, you don't want to gather everybody up in a group and then you spend all your time on the mic. You spend all your time, dominating the conversation and monopolizing the conversation. You want to listen and observe twice as much as you talk. All right, here's number 3. So the first one was listening to your customers so that you can make them clients. The second one was listening to your team. Anybody know what the third one probably is? Can anybody guess? Where the millionaire minded at? Can anybody guess what the third one is? What would be the third level of listening? If the first one is me listening to my customers and the second one is me listening to my team. Come on, y'all. Listening to the competition. Listen to your competitors. Listen to your competitors. Listen to your competitors. That's number 3. You ready? Listen to your competitors. What a source of information. Am I right? They can give you a new, different, and interesting perspective. And I don't care if they're a step ahead of you or light years behind you. Pay attention. Because even if they're way behind you, man, they excited for some kind of reason. Maybe they figured some angle out that you didn't even consider because you're doing so well. You didn't even pay attention to this whole other opportunity over here. Check it out. Whether they're one step ahead of you or light years behind, maybe you should analyze what's working. Maybe you should analyze what ain't working. So that way you can apply those lessons to your own business. There are so many ways for you to track and listen to your competitors. And again, social media might be one of your best weapons. Follow their social media channels. You'll get a window into not only their perspective and their mindset, but depending on the social media platform you're looking at, you can look right at the ads they're placing. You can look right at their marketing kind of like activity. Now it's telling you, oh, if they've been running this ad this long, this must be getting some serious results. You can also observe how they interact with their customers. You can observe how their customers interact with them. You got me? Might be something to consider. If you're in the Kaizen Academy and you've ever taken that revenue acceleration course that we have, then you already know one of the things that we teach is go and look at the reviews your customers are getting. Not just the 5-star reviews, but look at the 1-star reviews. Why? Because they're going to flat out tell you what to put in your product or service. They're going to say stuff like, oh man, I love this book right here. The only thing is they didn't include, and now that's where you start taking notes. Oh, that's what y'all want to see. Boom. Now you can do some marketing because here's a market and you got, ka-ting. You got the thing. All right, here's number 4, y'all. Here's number 4. Listen to the world around you. Listen to the world around you. Listen to the world around you. Let's grow. Let's grow. Listen to the world around you. None of us live in a vacuum. Our businesses don't live in a vacuum. Our brands don't live in a vacuum. You hear me? We're all part of a universe. We're all part of a, meaning one, one, like a unit or a unicycle. One, right? Check it out though. We also live in an ecosystem, which means that every piece of it is feeding another piece of it, right? We all got to coexist. We all got to eventually learn it ain't about competition. It's about collaboration. We've got businesses around us that we can help and that can help us. There's a community that we're a part of that we can help and that can help us. And by accepting this and listening to the larger world, we can start to deliver more to our customers. We can start to deliver more to our employees. We can start to deliver more to our team. We can start to deliver more to our counterparts and our coworkers. Am I making sense, y'all? And on social media platforms, you should be even more extreme with how much you listen. For every 10 posts you make, only 2 should be about yourself, believe it or not. The other 8 should be you feeding the people, adding value, giving your fans what they want, giving your followers what they need. It's perfectly appropriate for you to try to sell something every now and then, but the vast majority of it should be about them. Remember, you got 2 ears, 2 eyes, and 1 mouth. Am I making sense, y'all? It's affirmation time. Let's go. Let's go. If you haven't joined the newsletter yet, you might want to do that. Go to millionaireminded.com, throw your info in the box, and let's get it. Let's go. Let's go. It's affirmation time. We're going to spend a little bit of time doing our affirmations, doing our visualization exercises. It's so wild, man. I can do this stuff in my sleep now. It's so wild. It's starting to become part of my natural consciousness. Does somebody hear me? Does somebody hear me? Let's get it. Let's go. Repeat after me, millionaires. Say it like you mean it. I am so happy and grateful. Those are the 2 most powerful words and yet the shortest words in the whole English language. I am. Whatever you say after that, it turns into a command to these 73 trillion cells in your body. There's somebody very important listening when you speak. Yourself. You hear me? Come on, y'all. Let's get it. Let's get it. Repeat after me. I am so happy and grateful. What's the opposite of depression? What's the sworn enemy of depression? Gratitude. Gratitude, millionaires. Let's get it. I am so happy and grateful. Let's go. Let's go. Repeat after me. Say it like you mean it.